Dudenbostel, what have you gotten us into this time? That's Dudenbostel, Don Dudenbostel, the photographer I worked with. Don Dudenbostel, the biggest name in photography. I think his driver's license probably weighs over a pound. But anyway, I said this all the time. I asked Don Dudenbostel that question a lot as we go about documenting the culture of old Appalachia in East Tennessee that's fast disappearing. When I first met snake-handling preacher Jimmy Murrow in his church way back up in Cobb County, I wasn't really sure what to expect. But the big, strapping country preacher put me immediately at ease with a big, warm hug. "I'm just old holiness man," he told me. "I love everybody." Like Jimmy, the people in his small congregation are gracious and welcoming. The service that afternoon didn't involve taking up serpents. It was just a free-form mix of singing, praying, and preaching by whoever gets in the Spirit. Prayer requests at the end of the service include reminders to pray for our friends that's in prison. Later, after the service, Preacher Morrow went to the back room of his downbeat church and brings out a pine serpent box he made. Through a clear plastic window behind the hinged lid, I see 2 full-grown copperheads. "These is broad bands from out of Oklahoma," the preacher said. "Jesus' name, Jesus' name." Well, while Don was going in for a close-up on one of the copperheads, the "what have you gotten us into this time" question came to mind. Don was getting closer and closer to the serpent box, clicking off shot after shot, seeing only what he saw through the viewfinder. Before I had a chance to jerk Don back by the collar of his shirt, the copperhead Don was photographing reared up out of that serpent box and filled Don's viewfinder with a really close-up image. Don jumped back all by himself without any help from me. A minute later, Preacher Merle took both copperheads out of the serpent box and put them down in the pulpit so Don could make his now famous picture of snakes on the Bible. Then Preacher Merle said something I'll never forget. I'll never forget what he said. I'll quote it exactly. "Halo sita hata tata." Well, I'll never understand what he said, but I'll never forget it. Thank you. More later.